Digital horror and unfictional ARGs have been blowing up recently. Why that is? Well, because of nostalgia. The most common archetype we see is the mystery within the eeriness of a lifeless video game world. There are plenty of games these horror series tend to take place in. Minecraft, Roblox, Garry's Mod, maybe a game that doesn't exist but reminds us of a game we did play in our childhoods. Yet this one piece of digital horror takes place in a game that gamers are way too familiar with. Not only that, this one precedes the ones we know by almost a decade and remained dormant for 9 years until making an abrupt return. On October 23rd of 2012, a Reddit user going by the name of Distioned would post in the r/creepygaming subreddit about a particular anomaly he encountered. At the same day, he uploaded a YouTube video titled Halo PC Hide and Seek. Something just happened in Halo 1. Would like advice on what to do next. Hey r/creepygaming, I just went through a creepy game experience a few hours ago. I haven't played many horror games, and I found this when searching through subreddits, so this is all new to me. I recently built a new PC. It wasn't exactly powerful, as I wanted to spend as little money as possible on it. It was good enough to run source engine games like TF2, but nothing like BF3 or Crysis. I was strictly looking for the cheapest way into PC gaming, looking for a bit of nostalgia before I began playing some Team Fortress. I popped in my Halo CE into the disk tray and installed it. I have some fond memories playing with my group of friends and wanted to relive a bit of the past. I instantly started to have problems installing it. Aside from all the minor compatibility issues this game has with Windows 7, I didn't have my CD key. Well, technically I still have it, but the game's CD key was tied to some other PC that was long gone. I was fed up with that, so I booted up another game, slightly frustrated that I wasted about an hour of my life on that thing. It didn't take long for me to start looking for workarounds so I could play. I eventually found a keygen, and the game started to install. I picked the name I used years ago, Distioned, and hopped into the multiplayer lobby. I picked a random game of CTF and joined to see if everything worked. It didn't. A pop-up appeared and said the server's client needed to be updated. The error messages got weirder and weirder. I should have taken a screenshot of some of them. Some of them are almost laughable. Random selections of words would replace the error messages. Completely random. It seemed no one else online had this problem. The ones that did were told to try updating their game. This information was no use to me because I updated when I first booted it up. However, I still wanted to play. It didn't really matter if no one could join my gimpy out-of-date server, so I went and created an internet game. Before this, I started up Fraps to capture any weird messages. I chose CTF on Blood Gulch. The game started to load. Now, some of you guys that have played Halo extensively know that there are certain parts on any given map you can glitch up to so people can't find you. These points require that you utilize glitches like pushing yourself through a wall with a vehicle, but there was always one I couldn't get to. It took such crucial mouse movements and careful precision to even make it to the first step. Since I had nothing better to do in an empty server, I reattempted the glitch, so I got myself into a ghost and made my way over to the middle-ish part of the map. I lined myself up against a pillar and began trying to nudge myself into the wall. If you hurl yourself towards it too slowly, you'll be knocked off to the side. If you do it too quickly, you will just plain knock yourself through the wall, into the abyss. Getting in between there is where I'm trying to get. A few tries later and I'm in. That was the easy part. The next few parts are hard to explain in text. I had to kinda shimmy across the wall until I start to get pushed off by something invisible. I now have to jump on that invisible thing without sliding off. It's cake from there. A few tries later and I had it. The vantage point this glitch had on the center of the map made it rightfully so for it to be the hardest to achieve. The video starts with him inside a glitched area of the map, when all of a sudden, he just gets killed out of nowhere. Once he respawns, he immediately dies again. My victory was cut short when my Spartan drops dead. What the crap? I guess I shouldn't be too surprised. Maybe I was out of bounds for too long. I couldn't think about this for too long. I started dying randomly even more. I started to get creeped out. The text just said, Distioned died. I've never seen a pop-up like this in Halo before. He goes inside the base and settles in a corner, then everything turns dark and loud distorted noises start playing in the background before it goes quiet and a player named Juliet joins. I went down into my base just to make sure nothing was hitting me. I sat there for what seemed like minutes. I was observing everything. I leaned forward so my face was almost touching the monitor. My screen went blank for a second. I didn't have any time to notice what was going on. When I heard this horrible screeching noise, I reacted by knocking my headphones onto the keyboard. Everything was dark to the point where I could barely make out anything. Then a player joined. The player who just joined my seemingly impossible to join server was named Juliet. I was thinking this must have been the person who was making me drop dead. It also must have been her who had been making that horrible sound. It seemed impossible for her to control my Spartan's life, or even emit noises that aren't even in the game. I wanted to see if I could go shoot at her, so I took off to the blue base. I was thinking maybe this was all a coincidence, and a couple other players will join, and this will just be a normal game of capture the flag. After all that happens, he leaves the base and decides to go towards the checkpoint. As he's walking, he's wandering the camera, as if he's waiting for something or someone to find him. The outward appearance of the blue base seemed normal, but inside, something was disturbing. On the left wall in the back, there were words which I made out to be, "Find me." But I was stopped in my tracks when a text appeared on my screen. I nearly forgot you could chat in this game. Smiley face. Who are you? Let's play hide and seek. Out of nowhere, Distioned dies again, and the video ends abruptly. After I dropped dead again, I quit and shut down my server. I didn't want to hear whatever she had to say next, and frankly, I was kinda creeped out by the whole situation. Honestly don't know if this is a normal occurrence. Maybe the community has been overrun with hackers, and this happens all the time. Anyways, here's the video. If you guys have any advice for what to do next, I'd appreciate it. I'm off to bed now. We are seeing some very common but effective elements from other digital horror series. Quiet eeriness in an empty server, as well as an entity of some kind. The random deaths and abrupt noises could easily catch anyone off guard, and they certainly did for our main character. There's a lot of anticipation whenever he's walking around the map that something bad is about to happen. I imagine if I saw this video when I was really young, I'd be awake for days. Like Distioned said, Juliet just seems to be a hacker, but as the story progresses, we learn they are much more than that. On the following day, Distioned would decide to make another Reddit post. Update on my exploits in Halo 1. Hey guys, thanks for leaving all the messages and advice. I was originally intending to update and figure out my game plan right as I woke up, but I completely forgot my friends and I planned a little hiking excursion, and in case anyone cares, it was awesome. I jumped into a lake. So the gist of my plan is to play hide and seek with her and see where this takes me. Honestly didn't know how I didn't make the connection between find me and her saying, let's play hide and seek. But here's the problem. This was probably just some one-time thing, a random occurrence. Although I'm giving myself the benefit of the doubt, I don't think she will ever come back. I'm still going to play though, same setup and everything. It probably gives me a chance of summoning Juliet again, and with all that out of the way, I don't think I have much else to say. Nothing much has happened since I quit out of the game. I mentioned that I had something creepy happen on my game during the trip. They seemed to find this hilarious, and was their main source of ridiculing me, saying things like, oh, should we pack it up early then? I don't want to keep you from performing an exorcism on your game disc. I'm going to play as soon as possible, so expect another update tomorrow. I think I'm going to split my updates into different threads, so I don't risk hitting the character limit, but I also don't want to be spamming your board. So what do you guys think? Paste them all together or split them up? Update. I didn't sleep last night. I was too excited to play. No, excited isn't the word. I was anxious to play. I wanted to get this out of the way so I could move on with my life. All I needed to do was see if she would join again and play hide and seek. So why not pull a band-aid and play so I can rest easy tomorrow? Well, I did just that. I started up Halo and created a LAN server instead of an internet server. This time, I'd know if some weird crap was really going on. I hit start server and the map started to load up. Well, the first thing I noticed was I could actually see again. Everything looked normal enough. This wasn't nearly as scary as I remember it being. On October 25th of 2012, another video would be uploaded to the channel titled, I Found Juliet.
Capture the flag.
We open up to Distioned, starting another game. I decided to give myself a 10-minute time limit to wait before I tried switching it to an internet game or just calling it a night. All I could do to fill the time was by aimlessly wandering around Blood Gulch. This obviously got boring after 3 to 4 minutes. I started calling out to her, hey Juliet, getting tired here. What am I supposed to do? That seemed to do it. Juliet joined. A strange mixture of fear and confusion came over me because I had thought I had figured everything out. I thought that she was just a random player who was screwing with me, but now, It looks as if she was waiting for me. And on top of all of that, I was playing on a LAN game. I didn't believe what I was seeing. Am I now supposed to believe she is some sort of magical, technological ghost that transcends space and time? I don't know what to believe anymore. Do you want to play now? Yeah. My game froze and everything went dark again. But this time, there was a noise. It was just looping over and over again. I started to look for her, barely able to keep my mouse under control because I was shaking. I felt sick to my stomach. I didn't really want to do this. I don't know why I said yes to her, but I feel like I'd be letting you guys down if I didn't see this through. Count to 10. So I counted to 10. I was just going to search from the back of the map to the front. That seems like the most efficient way to go about this. I eventually found her crouched in a corner looking at me. You found me. I didn't know whether or not she was just going to leave after I found her, so I immediately asked her, who exactly are you? That's not the question you should be asking. Then what should I be? You should be looking for a place to hide. After Juliet leaves the game, the video ends here. And with that, she quit out of the server. I tried for an hour after this, trying to get her back. I even made a server named Juliet, please join. None of that worked. She's gone. After all, she got what she wanted, a simple game of hide and seek, but that's all. I don't have any more leads, and I've kind of gotten bored of this. If you guys have any more suggestions, I'll be open for them. Juliet isn't as hostile as initially thought. They seem to be a lot more playful, wanting to play hide and seek with our main protagonist. They also come off as a bit childish, with the way they just left the server like that. I think it's also pretty interesting to point out the obsession that Distioned has with Juliet. Originally I had a theory that these two figures were connected in some way, but more likely, Distioned just has a bit of morbid curiosity. Now after these two videos, the Reddit posts would stop, but we would get 3 more videos, and let's just say they're a bit incomprehensible. On November 28, 2012, Distioned uploaded a video titled Hello Friends.wmv. This is the first video with a description, but all it says is to remain until the end. The video starts off with what appears to be a still frame of a red Spartan's corpse hanging over the ramp. White noise begins to play as we change frames, then we hear some roaring. We cut to some bullet writings that say, "Look at me," before the camera turns to a blue Spartan, who's most likely Juliet. The video ends with it saying, "Ready or not, here I come." We get another view of the red Spartan's corpse, with Juliet visible in the background walking. It can be inferred that the red Spartan is Distioned simply because his Spartan was red in the previous few videos. Things would take a darker turn on February 19th, 2013, when Distioned uploaded a video titled Amend, where in the description it says, "I'm crying." Text on a black background appears, saying, "Don't kill me." Now we're looking at a camera shot of the game rather than a screen recording. It zooms in on Juliet before Juliet just vanishes. It goes black before it says, "Don't kill me," emphasizing the me. The video ends with a shot of Juliet before we get a scream and then an emoticon. It's difficult to tell what's going on, but the words "don't kill me" are not a good indicator. Now it may be Distioned who is saying that, but it could also be Juliet saying that. 1 week later, another video would be titled Nevermore. The video begins with nothing but a black screen and white noise. 50 seconds in, we begin to hear some movement. Then we hear some beeping, and then some audible laughing and crying that distorts before ending the video with beeping. Again, it's really hard to tell what is going on. All I can really see is that the background audio, while clearly from a stock website, was a bit unsettling. These 3 videos did creep me out at first, but the more I rewatched them and thought about it, it became a lot harder to take them seriously. Everything started to feel a bit silly. On June 13th of 2014, Distioned would make his third and final Reddit post. Distioned here, a while ago, I replied to an email sent to me regarding my well-being. I replied back as soon as I saw this post, and I'm not sure if the information was sent out to everyone who might care. This is my attempt at making this information public. I replied to you/notadog176 with the following message. I'm pasting it here with a few edits, because I somehow mistyped quite a lot by the end. Mental flub on my part. I was seriously sleep deprived those days. This is my third time attempting to type it. She's not going to let me do this on my computer. I recently got back from a trip to a cabin that lasted from December 1 to 11. While I was up there was no way to access the internet. So now that I'm back and getting the swing of things, I decided to check on my Distioned account. It would be my first time since I made my post on r/creepygaming, and son of a bitch, I'm currently uploading the footage on a flash drive I brought with me to the library. This is a raw file though, 3 gigs. I didn't have time to recompress it all. I'm worried it might not even upload, seeing as how this place has such crap upload speeds. I want to get one thing out of the way though, and I know you're not going to believe it. I only wrote 1 post. The last 2 posts were not me. And reading these posts, to be frank, terrifies the fuck out of me. It's like everything she wrote was to make it as unbelievable as possible, so you guys would turn against me. I can't explain it. Something about those words has an air of malice around it, and now that I think about it, anything in this message could have been altered by her as well. If there's anything off in this document, anything at all, I ask you not to listen to it. It isn't me. I'm looking back on my channel, and there are videos I didn't upload, and the last one is missing its video. There's a missing piece to the puzzle. There's something in between the lines I urge you to find. I'm going to be checking my email for your reply soon. Believe me, I've never felt so alone in a crowded library than I did when I frantically typed that out. You see, that was during a time she was haunting me the most, for lack of a better word. It was during this time when I realized the magnitude of my actions and how they were affecting me in the real world. This may not be related, but my PC had a serious worm or virus of some sort, which royally fucked my system. Symptoms included my keyboard being taken over and reiterating certain terms I've searched online for when I was working on a psychology project. This was before I dropped out of my classes due to acute anxiety. I don't remember this, but apparently I was extremely volatile to my classmates during this time. They said I was absolutely inconsolable with my constant delusions of impending doom. With that said, let me say this one more time. These are not delusions. From the Reddit post I never wrote to the videos that spontaneously appeared on my YouTube account, it is pretty damn clear that something odd is going on. I'm so sorry I left you guys in the dark about this for so long. I won't bore you with a line-by-line analysis of that post I assume Juliet posted, but I urge you to go back and read it to give some perspective on what I personally believe to be the point of all of it is. I am looking at my YouTube account right now. There are 5 videos: Halo PC Hide and Seek, I Found Juliet, Hello Friends at WMV, Amended Nevermore. How many do you think I have personally uploaded? 1. I uploaded the first video. The next 4 were not uploaded by me. At this point in time, I can't even delete them if I wanted to. I have no ways to recover my account after it was hijacked. Trust me, I tried everything. I might have some irrelevant footage of me bullshitting around in Halo like I said in the email, but I couldn't upload it if I wanted to. These mysterious videos could be interpreted 50 different ways. The ambiguity of them got me thinking, what if that is the point? What if they don't mean anything? Going off to the viewpoint that Juliet is the one who hijacked my account and began posting these things, what if she is trying to sever the link between you guys and myself? One thing is certain. If I've learned anything with my experiences with her, she wants me alone. She is unhappy with the audience I've garnered, which brings me to the theory that maybe that is her weakness. It's like the fucking boogie monster or something. If no one believes it, then might as well not exist. The princess? Halo ghosts? Nonsense. We've all been played and toyed around with. We had Juliet in a corner she didn't like, and managed to weasel her way out. This is what I hoped you guys would find. I was not in the position to tell you when I first wrote the email out, but now I am. This is my first time to fight back. How long has it been anyway? Like 2 years since this all started? I don't even know. All I know is how I am ready to bookend this chapter of my life, no matter the cost. I don't know if this is goodbye. I know whatever happens in the next 48 hours, I will see it to the end. No more questions or dead ends. Goodbye, friends. Yours truly. So to summarize, the other videos as well as the second Reddit post weren't Distioned. Juliet has fully taken over and is now tormenting Distioned. Well, whatever the reason may be, it's pretty clear that Distioned has been driven mad over this whole thing. Generally speaking, I think this Reddit post and the last couple of videos made this whole plot very messy. There are a lot of cheesy moments like the emoticons and the screamers, not to mention this whole Reddit post just makes no sense. And the way the narrator acts is just way too unrealistic. And it seems like I'm not alone in this opinion, as many people in the Reddit comments do agree. This isn't a terribly written story, but the faults are definitely there. Though, I will admit, these faults give this ARG that old internet charm. However, there's more to the story and this whole thing could redeem itself. This Reddit post would be the absolute last thing we'd see of Distioned, and the Nevermore video would be the last video on the channel for a while. This could be due to the creator being busy, or just simply giving up on the project. Suddenly, there would be a new video on February 1st of 2023, just less than 9 years after the Nevermore video. This new video would be titled Stunts and Tricks with Juliet. The sudden return was of course a shock to the comment section of this video, who had forgotten about the channel to begin with. The beginning of the video shows Juliet showing the audience how to jump on top of a tree. It is hard, she says in the chat. Our next segment just has Juliet trying to show the audience how to make a ghost stand by throwing a grenade on the seat of the vehicle. It does take them multiple failed attempts, and after multiple failed attempts, they make it work. Finally, this is the ghost stand. Here you can stand on the ghost stand. It just ends with a simple text animation saying hello. We're in the perspective of Juliet, but this video just seems to be typical gameplay a kid would make around this time. Things are definitely odd. Plus, we don't really see anything from Distioned themselves, and that remains for the rest of the channel. 20 days later, they uploaded another video titled Video from 9/13/2012, Stunts, Some Hiding Spots. As we can see, all the T's are replaced with question marks for some reason. In the description, we get a message. Found this video on my channel. I think my brother's trying to mess with me. Fixing the link, we get to a video that's just titled with a question mark. The video begins by following through a river, and as it approaches the waterfall, it cuts the ocean area into a doorway. We're then brought to another ocean area before it cuts to a forest. The camera goes past an island and then ends on a view of some clouds. The video doesn't seem to mean anything, and seems like it just exists for the sake of being eerie, and it doesn't do a bad job of doing that. Back to the actual video, we see Juliet riding a ghost. Juliet attempts to use the ghost to clip through the mountain. We cut to another glitch attempt with Juliet using a rocket launcher to get the warthog on top of the base, and then use a jeep to cover the doorway of the base. In her words, it's for defense. Then we get another showcase of Juliet using the jeep to hide inside a rock. While inside the rock, she is still able to use her weapons. Going to do more hiding spots soon. Here's another I'm fond of. Juliet uses a banshee to make her way on top of a mountain area that the banshee cannot reach. Anyways, I've been having problems. Lots of internet problems. Sometimes I can't connect, and it's hard to find someone to play with. The end. I may try to record bumper cars gameplay. I may show more hiding spots for hide and seek. I'm not going to give away all the secret spots I know I have. Smiley face. Moving forward, we get another video titled 3 Little Piggies. The video starts with Juliet on top of the ghost, and then we get some text in front of a black screen. The weirdest scenario zipped through my head. I mean, exactly why is light the fastest thing in the universe? Technically, if I were to travel at the speed of light, I'd be everywhere at once, but it doesn't take light any time to get anywhere. There are 2 things wrong with that picture. Light takes about 8 minutes to get from the sun to my retinas. Everything is not equally illuminated. Therefore, light is just another attribute of this universe. It has limits. It has bounds. That means it can't be a defining property of the universe. Just like I, Julie, can't be used to define humanity. I'm just a part of the whole picture. We get the server IP, the server port, and then description. Randomly, 3 people join the server as the 3 Little Piggies. Now we get a montage of a bunch of Spartans crouching and walking together in a group. The music in the background is off-putting, but the actual video itself is honestly very cheerful. It's simply just a group of players just having fun. We go back to more black screens with text. In other words, I got cake and ate it too. A bunch of people decided to throw a themed birthday party. Irish theme. Green and clovers covered every nook and cranny of the garage. Some wore hats and dainty curled shoes. The only thing was, we couldn't get the guest of honor to arrive. A surprise party is ultimately an exercise in failure if the guest doesn't show up. 2011, October 4. Life. Love it, hate it, for friends come and friends go. Juliet. These last 3 videos just seem to be Juliet having fun on Halo. Nothing concerning Distioned, and everything just seems to be normal. Although these videos were discomforting, that was kind of the standard for gameplay videos around this time if you didn't have a mic. I've watched plenty of quiet gameplay videos back in the day, not only of Halo, but of Minecraft, Club Penguin, and Gary's Mod. Watching those videos now does give off that uncanny feeling. We get a date on the last screen of text, October 4, 2011. Not only is this Juliet's birthday, this video predates the original post Distioned made by about a year. What we're watching is a prequel to the videos uploaded 9 years prior. We're watching segments of Juliet's life before they became the ghost we know them as now. Even though these videos are a lot more lighthearted, the next 3 aren't so. Each of these videos displays several screens of text without any gameplay. The first one is titled, "I feel sick, and others are noticing now. There is a certain equilibrium of friends per person. The more friends one has, the shallower the relationships. The fewer friends, the deeper the relationships. So what is a friend? Deep friendships are the kind you can tell the other person anything in the whole world, because you know, beyond the shadow of any doubt, that they will not hurt you, and they will only look for your best interests. All friendships are reciprocal, or it's not really a friendship, is it? I do not want to give them up, ever, but life goes on. And I must endure this, as everyone must. But that doesn't mean I won't fight, kick, scream, or claw to keep my friends. To quote a popular steak sauce, yeah, it's that important. Amen. Juliet. Also, the people on glitch stunt servers have been nothing short of world-class jerks, admins included. Why? Why is it that themed servers attract the very people they don't want to them? Are people really that mean in real life? Are these the kind of people who show up at random parties and try to crash them? Why do they get mad when they are kicked or banned for not following the rules? Why do people think that just because it's an online game, they can do whatever they want whenever they want to? And woe to those who think they have free speech. Most of those people are from the United States. I can't believe they would have the audacity to apply their laws to other countries. And on top of that, they have no idea what free speech means. Freedom of speech means you have to take responsibility for what you say. You can't go around shouting fire in crowded theaters. Anyway, if you are reading this, I want you to look up some nights. Yes, make this a common practice. And gaze upon the stars our forefathers gazed upon. Look at them, and try to read their hopes and dreams. Compare them to what we have today. Maybe look at the stars and write your hopes and dreams. We'll look to those same stars and say, we are living your dream, so I look forward to life about that. And perhaps, discovering for myself just what goes on in my head when I have to press the dash button on my keyboard. If something comes up on the server, I'll try to capture my thought processes and transcribe them step by step for you. Until then, take care and enjoy the rest of the day. Juliet. The next video is titled, Words I Hope You Will Have to Pause in Order to Absorb. In the description, we get some text that say, you're not going to get what you want. I'm considering putting an end to my life. I end up talking about myself at events. In my life, quite a bit, and well, let's be honest, who really cares? I'll be honest, I don't understand myself. I feel so different from everyone else. It's maddening at times. Like I'm trying to connect with people on a level they can't fathom, and that I don't even know about. It's like a pet dog. You love them to death, and they love you back, but sometimes you wish they could be so much more, so that you could know them more and that they'd understand you. I have this mad love affair with the human race. There's something marvelously incredible about each and every one of us. I don't even know how to describe it. When I meet a person face to face, I can see so much. I see their past and present, where they've been, what they've gone through. I suppose that's the sole reason I don't have a large circle of friends. I scare most away, and the friends I do have, I don't even know. It's like beyond anything I found in literature. This drives me up the wall. Why is it that my life experience is so different from most people? Sometimes I fantasize that I wasn't born on Earth, that I somehow ended up here and have to stick around until someone swoops down and carries me to where I'm supposed to be. I feel an alien to my own world. This sucks dinosaurs. I love my parents, but lately, they seem different somehow, like they're distracted and disconnected from me. Is this me pushing them away? I don't really have fights or disagreements with them. They're just kind of there. Sometimes I just want to cry away everything, hug my pillow and let the world forget about me for a while. I need someone to hold me, a guy I can run to, and no matter what I say, to hug me and say it will be alright, that they'll be there, the thick and thin, to fight the good fight until the very end. In rereading this blog before posting, my words seem hollow. They are missing the meaning and emphasis I intended when I wrote them. This too bugs me. I can't seem to translate these emotions into readable form. So I shall look at the stars and write my hopes and dreams upon them. Maybe someone will look upon them and exclaim, that's what she meant, I get it now. And that shall warm my heart, to know that someone, somewhere, somehow, understood exactly what I meant, and be filled with something. Again, I find myself at a loss of words for this even though I'm experiencing it right now. Our final video is titled I Hate My World. The video begins with the usual black screen with white text, but this time in a different language of sorts. I've tried putting this through translators and ciphers and ended up not getting any results. For all we know, this could all be gibberish. But then we continue back to English. Oh, how I wish for soothing rain. All I wished is to dream again, my loving heart. Lost in the dark. Ancient pillars stand thick and tall, a devastating symbol of accomplishments. Beyond our wildest imagination that was lost and destroyed, what secrets do these pillars of humanity hold? What secrets would they tell? I hate my world. Sometimes I wish I could go camping forever. Just be simple. Watch the stars at night, explore for food during the day. In a real community that I could care for and it could care for me. Again, I find within myself a glimmer of hope that I'm somehow not fully human. A tiny fraction of my DNA says that she is not one of them. Something, anything, to escape the crushing defeat of what we have become. I feel violated that in a previous post, I gave Notion to write hopes and dreams among the stars. How dare I allow someone to exploit that imagery with selfishness? No matter how hard I try, it seems people in general don't want to rise above themselves. As arrogant as this is about to sound, and as selfish as this is about to sound, I need people to be better than I am, so that I can rise to the challenge. To these people who are full of life and authority, I am truly grateful, because in your presence, I can, quite literally, feel your decisiveness. Your confidence astounds me. Your gaze melts me. For with you, I have no fear. I can tell you my faults and failures, and know that even though I messed up, you are willing to work with me to have me learn to be better. Only because in the great and ancient hall of humanity, I sit in the edge of darkness, with my back against this pillar.
And I weep as the roof caves in around me.
If I'm being honest, these screens of text ruin the immersion for me. I'm more of a show, not tell kind of person, and I would have much preferred if everything was being told through the Halo chat or through a program like Notepad or Windows Movie Maker. One thing is for certain, Juliet just wasn't happy with her life, and that has a lot to do with the people around her, more particularly, the people she played the game with.
Closing thoughts.
We know nothing about Juliet's life outside of these videos, but we can assume they were an outcast in society. They used video games, more particularly Halo, as a form of escapism, as many people do. Juliet was well into the glitch and hidden area side of the community, and even joined servers to interact with others in that community. They take a great pride in their own friends, as it's something they mention multiple times. It's her main form of joy, but it's also her downbringing because these friends may not feel the same exact way. Not to mention, Juliet mentioned how people in the glitch community weren't exactly the nicest. All of these things combined led to Juliet venting through these videos. I believe Juliet took her own life. And I say that because we do see an ideation in one of her videos. Yet her soul lives on in the game and now haunts Distioned, just a guy trying to relive his youth. I was trying to see if there was any connection between Distioned and Juliet before the ghost encounter, but the more I looked into it, there just wasn't enough evidence. This whole channel does a great job of recreating that nostalgic feel from early 2000s gameplay, while also having that sense of uneasiness from being in an empty server. There was also a lot of anticipation that something bad was about to happen, or that something bad did happen. I also like what they're going for by making us understand who this Juliet person is. But again, the flaws stand out. The story is just really messy, and there are moments like the screamers and the screens of text that just ruin the immersion for me. And the general basis of a ghost in a video game is a cliche we're quite used to, but in defense of that, there is a bit of old internet charm in there. If you've read a classic creepypasta, you'd know they aren't that good. Yet, they were still able to traumatize a whole generation of internet users. What's even crazier is how obscure this ARG is. The channel itself is lacking in views, and there's not a lot of people talking about this, with the exception of a few Reddit posts and entries in Halo Iceberg videos. In an age where horror series are trying to recreate that feeling of nostalgia we had with old games, I think the series is a hidden gem. I'm really glad to be the first person to cover this particular ARG. When it comes to ARGs, there's always someone beating me to the punch. It was really fun to go through this whole thing and play detective. But now that begs another question. Is this story over? Or is there more that's going to unfold? Take care of yourselves, and as usual, please have yourselves a damn good one.